From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Less Levine, it's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Less Levine, exclusively on cleveland.com. I'm Les Levine. This is the D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, also from cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. How'd you like that spanking new open?
Yeah, all right. I like it. Absolutely.
The old newspaper business. Big smile came to your face.
Why not? The Plain Dealer and cleveland.com, a two-headed monster.
Absolutely. 216-575-0403 is the number to call on a Thursday night. Just a programming note, the D-Man will now be here on Thursdays. So you've been for the last 87 years on Mondays. It's going to mess up my whole calendar. I'll say, wait, what day is this if D-Man showed up?
I'm sure you'll recover quickly.
Yeah. but Shaw on Tuesdays and a variety of people the rest of the week here on More Sports and Less Levine. 216-575-0403. That's the same number from the previous show, but we do have a new email address. You might want to jot it down. You see it at the bottom of your screen, and it's reallesslevine@gmail.com. reallesslevine@gmail.com. Getting into the 21st century, finally.
Yes, sir.
Great to be here with cleveland.com. All right, D-Man, start talking. What's going on with the Cleveland Browns search?
Well, I was just checking the phone, and apparently Josh McDaniels is very interested in the Browns. Well, I sure hope the Browns aren't interested in him.
Where did that come from, that news?
I'm not sure.
Because he turned down the opportunity to meet with the Bengals.
Yeah, and listen, to me, McDaniels should be a pariah as far as coaching searches go after what he pulled last year with the Colts.
Well, which one? That he pulled it off the table with Indianapolis?
More than that, he was hiring guys.
Right.
And then he got cold feet because he couldn't be without his binky, Tom Brady. Listen, no, hard pass on McDaniels. I don't care if he's local, all right? What he pulled with the Colts should have eliminated him from head coaching consideration going forward.
Well, how about what he did
hopefully Dorsey will figure that out.
How about what he did with
already.
the Denver Broncos, where he just was a bad coach?
Yeah, I mean, look, sure he's knowledgeable, and yes, he and Brady have been a dynamic duo, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all.
Do you trust any Belichick tree member?
Not necessarily. Name me the last one that's had a beaucoup success.
Can't.
That speaks to how great a coach Belichick is.
Well, so does Tom Brady.
Well, sure. And I'm not saying McDaniels doesn't have something to do with Brady's success and the Patriots' success, but that's his little comfort zone, okay? He doesn't want to go out of his comfort zone, even if he claims he does. Leave McDaniels be. There are plenty of other candidates who can fill the job.
Let me just point this out. Being new here on cleveland.com, as we started with the simulcast a couple of weeks ago, but now it's exclusive on
Beaucoup numbers on the simulcast.
Well, very happy with it, I can tell you that. But the important thing is if you want to get in on the phone between 6 and 7 p.m. when we do the show live, then it's streamed after that. In fact, if you miss 6 to 7, you can watch all day and all night if you want. But if you want to get in on the phone, it's easy to do it at the beginning of the show. Right at 6 o'clock, it's easy. Not so easy once we get rolling into the show. So if you wanted to call, have something to say, get on the phone right now. Get yourself in line. Otherwise, you're going to miss the boat on that one. All right, so the McCarthy's coming in next Thursday now. We thought it was going to be today, but it'll be next Thursday. I'm hearing, well, there's two ways of looking at it. The guy's been a great success, and maybe the problem with Green Bay right now with Aaron Rodgers, maybe they just got tired of each other. Together, 12, 13 years, right?
Sure. I mean, a case can be made that Belichick and Brady got tired of each other a long time ago.
Well, they both figured it out, though.
What's that?
They figured out they should probably stay together.
They're just making it work by not necessarily being pen pals.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, you can expect in professional sports with the egos and the money involved that those kind of relationships are not easily sustained. So I don't think it's a blight on McCarthy at all. Barring that Seattle miracle, McCarthy could have been in 2 Super Bowls at least. So, I mean, yeah, he's a good candidate, no question.
Not only good candidate, is he the leader in the clubhouse right now?
Well, if he really wants it, I could imagine that, Dorsey would say, okay, that he'd be the leading candidate. Personally, my guy is Freddie Kitchens. But if Dorsey looks at Kitchens versus McCarthy, he's probably going to lean toward McCarthy.
Why are you so high on Kitchens?
Well,
if he's a head coach, he's not going to be the offensive coordinator.
Oh, I think he would be. I think if you hire Kitchens to be your head coach, he's calling your plays.
Okay.
That's why. You're hiring for his offensive expertise. Just as if you hire McCarthy, he's calling his plays,
well,
presumably.
But
all right?
more, he's deserves it more.
Sure. But I'm right. I'm not trying to compare the two because McCarthy's got a head coaching resume and Kitchens does not. I'm simply saying that both of them are offensive minds who are more than capable of calling plays. You wouldn't hire them to not call their own plays.
Right.
Kitchens, to me, I mean, he's Sean McVay 2.0, except McVay was 30 years and 11 months when he got hired by the Rams. Right. Kitchens is 44. That's the difference. But in that time period, Kitchens has a lot of NFL experience that he's piled up. He got a chance finally to call plays, and he did an absolutely fantastic job in a half a season. I'm not guaranteeing this type of success forever, but to me, Freddie Kitchens opened eyes not only in Cleveland but around the league. That's why you read and hear that Cleveland is blocking potential interviews of
right.
Kitchens
we'll have
for
that
OC.
During the headlines, we will have that. But is anybody else calling for him to talk to him as a head coach? I'm not hearing that at all.
I'm not either, but I think you've got to let the ground settle a little bit.
Right.
You have plenty of job openings out there, and I would have to imagine that if teams are calling regarding him as OC, there's a distinct possibility that at least one of them is thinking, well, you know what, maybe he would be another Sean McVay type. In other words, doesn't have to have previous head coaching experience coming off of an OC as McVay did for 3 years with the Redskins. This is obviously a smaller amount of time.
Right.
But are you going to quibble with what you saw from Kitchens this year?
No, but I feel a little sorry for both he and Greg Williams because first of all, being the first one interviewed, as Greg Williams was, I didn't think was to his advantage as head coach. It was all right, let's get him out of the mandatory interview with him. Now let's move him aside and talk to other people. I mean, by now, my guess is John Dorsey's forgotten that whole interview took place.
Well, that's a little disrespectful to Williams, but I hear what you're saying. Here's what I think they went down. Now that we've removed ourselves from the end of the season, we've removed ourselves from Williams' 5-3 success.
Right.
Emotionally, it was neat to think of Williams as a candidate. Realistically, no, he's not a candidate. So what happens is, to me, I think, Dorsey says, we're going to give you the interview, we're going to treat it seriously. Greg, go out and try to find a head coaching gig if you can, okay?
Right.
If you don't, there's a possibility that, let's say, a guy like McCarthy maybe, who knows? I don't know if McCarthy would have a DC automatically in mind whose name is not Williams, but maybe, just maybe, an offensive-minded head coach who becomes the Browns guy says, I'd like Greg Williams. Is Greg Williams still available? Maybe he comes back as a full-time DC if he hasn't found a HC anywhere else, and I don't think he will.
Right. Well, what I'm thinking is between Kitchens and Williams, you could have any combination. You could have them both retained in the same positions they're in now. You could have one be the head coach, or either be the head coach. You could have one stay as the OC, the other stay as the DC, or you might see them out of jobs completely, which is kind of unfair, but that's what happens.
Well, let me just say this, Les. My guess is, again, this is all guessing, all gut, because if you think you have Dorsey's ear, then you're wrong, because he's flushed out the leaker already. He knows what he knows. He's got everything tight knit. My belief is this. Somewhere in the NFL next year, hopefully here, Freddie Kitchens will call plays. I don't think Greg Williams is going to be – I don't think the odds are as good that Williams is a DC somewhere else, but he still could be. The one scenario, though, where I see both of them potentially back is Bruce Arians.
Yeah, being head coach and let those guys run the offensive
If
defense.
Dorsey were to be okay with Arians, I could fully see Arians, who has familiarity with Kitchens from Arizona,
right,
and who raved about him while he was doing the telecast this year. Arians says, I like Kitchens calling my plays, and I don't mind Williams as my
Okay,
DC.
you hit the scenario that I'd like to see. You want Kitchens as the head coach. I want Arians, and I want Kitchens and Williams to stay on
That would
as
be
the coordinators.
That would be really fascinating because, number one, it would satisfy the continuity part of it.
Right.
The players coming back would have that continuity feel
Right.
because they have Williams and Kitchens with them. It would also, you're also bringing in a respected guy. Bruce Arians is not just, Joe six-pack. I mean, he's a guy that's very well respected in the league and is very complimentary, was on the TV about what he saw from the Browns. So, yeah, I like that as a candidate. I just don't know if Dorsey's going to go that direction.
216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at a new email address, reallesslevine@gmail.com. Let's check out MS&LL headlines for the day, brought to you by Northfield Park. McCarthy's interview is going to be a week from today. The Browns are blocking Kitchens. That's not a bad thing. It's actually they want to see where the land lies and where if they can deal with Kitchens. And the Cavaliers, big loser again last night. They take on Kyle Korver in the Utah Jazz. That'll be tomorrow night at the Q, the second of a four-game series. 216-575-0403. A four-game homestand is what I meant to say. Mike Massaro is standing by from Nature Stone. We'll talk to him in a moment. As you know, I'm the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Cleveland sports. Well, we just mentioned a bunch of scenarios with the D-man, Dennis Maniloff, and I brought up the fact that it's possible that that Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens could be anywhere from top to bottom. Could be the head. Either one could be the head coach. Either one could be the offensive or defensive coordinator. Or everyone might wind up with jobs somewhere else. And the bad part for these guys from a personal level is neither of them may wind up with the job here in Cleveland. It's unfair, but all of us who've had kids over the years know that when the kids say it's not fair, you just come back and say life's not fair. 216-575-0403 is the number to call, and we'll be back in a moment. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Less Levine, with new content posted each and every day. We'll take a look at some of your responses a little bit later in the show. We're coming back in a moment. More Sports and Less Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I had bad credit, so I wasn't able to get a bank account or a credit card.
My life is so busy, I don't have time to be standing in line to cash a check.
That's why we created the NetsBand Prepaid MasterCard. It puts you in control of managing your money.
I can get my money up to 2 days earlier than everybody else. I don't have to wait till the end of the week to get paid.
Order now at no cost and get paid up to 2 days faster.
Call 1-800-644-0772.
Call now and you can choose your card design.
Birthdays for today, 1947 Cyclone.
I'm looking at the guy on the bottom.
The guy on the bottom, yeah, right. Well, he's on the left also. Soon to be former quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, right? This is a quarterback day. Jim Everett, Cheryl Miller, great basketball, women's basketball player, A.J. Burnett, Eli Manning, still hanging around with the Giants, and Deshaun Kaiser, born in, makes him not very old. What, that was not going to work last year
No.
here in Cleveland. Dennis Maniloff with us. More sports and Les Levine. You had something you want to add
Couple
before we
things.
go to Mike?
Phone's blowing up. Dennis sounds stuffed up. That's because I am. I'm coming off a sinus infection. How can the Browns block Kitchens because he's under contract? And they wouldn't block him if it's for an HC interview, but they
Right.
can
If it's the
block
same
him.
level, they can block him.
Yes, for an OC, and
All
that's a good sign for Kitchens because it shows interest.
Not only that the Browns show interest, may not work out, but at least at this point they show interest. We show interest every Thursday night with Mike Massaro from Nature's Stone. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Les. How you doing?
Happy New Year to you and your family.
And to you. Thank you.
All right, Dennis Maniloff is here. We're talking about the Browns coach. The story changes every day. Mike McCarthy will meet next week. We thought it was going to be today. And I just gave my scenario that I'd like to see. Bruce Arians is the head coach and keep the OC in D.C. and Greg Williams and Kitchens. What do you think about that?
Well, hey, D-Man, how you doing? I'd love to see them keep Williams and Kitchens in their roles, right now, DC and OC for sure. I don't know about Bruce Arians as the coach. I'm going to disagree with you there. I'm still on board with Josh McDaniels if he's available and he wants to come to Cleveland. I think second time around, he did some pretty good stuff with Denver when he was there, and then had sort of a down year. And he's gone back to New England and trained under Bill Belichick, and I think now is probably this guy's time. So I'd like
so
to see,
you took off one of mine. You took off my head coach, and you took one of D-Man's. D-Man would like to see Freddie Kitchens as the head coach.
I don't know enough about Freddie Kitchens. I know that he did a good job running the offense for Baker Mayfield, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he could be a head coach. So there's a lot more that goes into head coaching than being able to run an offense.
I
Did a
Right,
nice
Mike,
job
but
with it for the last 6 games or 8 games or whatever it was, but
Right, Mike, but they said the same thing about Sean McVay. I mean, he hadn't done any head coaching when they plucked him off the Redskins OC, and look what he's done. I think that Kitchens has a similar offensive mind as McVay, and I don't see why Kitchens couldn't be the head coach in that way.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of head coaches, we're going to need one at the end of the basketball season. There's no way that Drew sticks on, right? Right? Can't possibly.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. I don't know why he would want to, unless they get this Zion Williamson kid out of Duke.
Yeah, that would be nice. The other thing about the Cavs coaching situation, they have one guy on the bench with any experience. That's at Lombardi, and they don't have anybody else.
They're all
Assistant
young,
coaches.
aren't they?
What's that?
Yeah, they're all young. They're all young assistants.
Yeah, this apparently is a training ground.
Yeah.
You go from the finals 4 years in a row to being a training ground.
My goodness, what a change!
Well, Mike,
8-30 for the record.
Mike, can you explain to me how these Cavaliers beat Philadelphia on the road, Houston at home, and Indy on the road out of those 8 wins?
It's inexplicable.
And that was during a time where they actually were playing better basketball overall, and then they just sort of fell off the deep end again. I don't know. Is it injuries or what? I mean, they had a lot of guys hurt. They have some talent. There's no question about it. They can play, but they don't seem to understand how to win or down the stretch.
To me,
Austin Carr is a trip. I love listening to Austin Carr describe what's going on, especially in the third and fourth quarter.
A lot of people think that Austin is out there just having fun and throwing the hammer down and all that stuff. This guy is a basketball savant and continues to be so.
Oh, yeah.
And continues over as many years as he's been doing it. He never loses his enthusiasm, right?
No, not at all. And if you listen to him, he's telling you what's going on.
Right.
He's telling you that they're not putting forth effort. They're not playing good defense. The rotations are off. He's letting you know everything. A lot like Bernie Kosar does with football.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to me that the color analyst on television knows more than the players who are actually playing the game.
Yeah.
Something wrong with that scenario.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to go on with that team. But again, basketball is an odd sport where one player can make the difference between you being a perennial, championship caliber team and an 8-30 team going into the second half. So if they do get the number one pick and Williamson is the real deal, and they pinned him with Colin Sexton, and he continues to develop, they could get really good really fast, and that could be an attractive job for some.
Both of you help me out with this. I think the Cavs are getting exactly what they wanted. They're getting playing time for young guys. They're getting games where, at least half the games where they're trying really hard, but they're not winning, and I think that's part of the plan. Play real hard, but don't win. Or am I way off on that?
No, I would agree. I think that's the MO in basketball nowadays. Pick up some wins where you can, and then lose as many as possible so that you can get the most lottery balls in the lottery.
Mike Massaro from Nature's Stone is with us. D-Man, you're a baseball man first, so is Mike, so am I for that matter. So let's talk what's going to happen here in the next month as far as the Indians are concerned. Go ahead, D-Man, what do you think?
It wouldn't surprise me if Kluber gets moved. I think that of Kluber or Bauer, most teams out there prefer Kluber. They prefer the safe play.
Right.
The guy they know, that is going to, they can pretty much pencil in what they're going to get from Kluber.
Right, and a longer-term contract.
With Bauer, you have the tremendous upside, but you also have all that comes with it, the bells and whistles, the potential second-guessing of your coaching staff and things like that. Kluber, you got a solid citizen. He's going to put his head down, do his work, give you his 200-plus innings, 200 Ks, especially if he goes to the National League.
Yeah, where he hits the
when you
pitcher.
go American to National, your ERA stands to go down by 0.5 point.
And the strikeouts just rise.
Yeah, so Kluber's going to be that much better in the National League. I still think the odds are in favor of him being moved before training camp.
What are the odds that he doesn't get, that neither of them get moved?
You resign
because
I think one of them will. I think Kluber's name's been in the news for too long that it's going to happen.
Mike, what do you think?
Oh, I agree with D-Man 100%. I think if of the two, Kluber's the guy that they would move. I think he's the more desirable player, and I also think that they're willing to move him primarily because of his age as well.
Yeah, but they got to address the outfield. They got to address the outfield. If you're trading a guy like Kluber, you better get a starting outfielder who can hit from the corner power positions, I would think.
Here's the thing with that. You got Harper and you got Machado that are still out there that need to sign. And I think a couple of these teams, the Dodgers, Yankees, and maybe some others that are in the market for the Kluber trade are also in the market for Machado and Harper or either of those. So I think once those dominoes fall, then you'll see the run on, okay, let's make the trade for Kluber now. Because once they've established that, okay, we got Harper in our outfield, we can part with, player X. Now, we can see what happens with that trade.
D-Man is falling off the chair, agreeing with you.
No, that's a great point, as you expect from Mike. Great point. You need to see a few of these big guys, namely Harper and Machado, go before you see Kluber go, presumably, because of what you just said. The addition of that guy, one of those two, to a team creates excess somewhere. And so, I agree with Mike 100% on that.
All right, Mike. As always, thanks for joining us. We'll do it again next Thursday night. Mike Massaro, CEO of Nature's Stone. Mike, thanks. Have a great week.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Enjoy. Take care.
Good to talk to you.
Love Mike.
Great guy, Mike Massaro. 216. His grandfather, one of the greatest softball players in the history of Cleveland.
You serious?
Yaya Massaro. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
For you old-timers who are softball people, Andy Yaya Massaro. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Brand new email address, reallesslevine@gmail.com. We'll come back in a moment with the D-Man Dennis Maniloff. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. And you can enjoy the excitement of live harness racing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday evenings of the 6 p.m. post time. Open every day at noon for simulcast action from the top thoroughbred and harness tracks all around the world. Enjoy free handicapping contests all weekend long, including the popular Road to the Derby contest on Saturdays and beginning January 19th, and weekly Sunday contests featuring Gulfstream Park. It's free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. D-Man and I return in a moment. One line is open if you'd like to get in. More sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Naturestone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Naturestone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Plus, it has a higher insulation rating than carpet and is warmer than linoleum, vinyl, wood, or tile.
Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today and get up to 50% off.
Naturestone is the affordable basement floor solution that beautifies your home. Naturestone, the only concrete solution.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Time for a how come quickie, D-Man. How come if your offense is based on 3 yards and a cloud of dust, your team's going to have to punt a lot on 4th and 1? I mean, the math comes out, 3 yards and a cloud of dust, you're short. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Glenn says, I'm thrilled that your show is now accessible via cleveland.com. It's been 5 years since I last watched your show via the cable systems. Great to see your show again. I'm looking forward to the D-Man tonight, as he always was one of my favorite people to appear on your show. Keep up the great show tonight. Glenn.
Much appreciated.
Appreciate it, Glenn. What else? Bob says, I'm almost as old as Les, but I know you can view the cleveland.com version of the new show on anything you can view YouTube on. So if Les would trade in his flip phone for a smartphone, he would know to tell people to view on a smartphone, tablet, or iPad.
Nice.
P.S. Les, your hair looks great every day on a 5-inch screen. Love the show and watch every day. Bob says that. Thank you, Bob. A couple here I want to get to, but I got to read them in advance. They look too long. You might be sneaking something
pouring in.
They're pouring in. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Let's go to the phones, and we'll go to Matt, who's in Aurora, Ohio. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Les.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought the only way to listen to you or is with the cable system, but there's a new format here, right?
Right. Well, basically the same show, but we're glad to be worldwide. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I don't understand why the Indians can't keep the pitchers, right? I mean, if we had kept CC Sabathia for all these years, I mean, who knows if these pitchers we are talking about trading now, if we could keep them like CC has been in the league, we would be better off.
You're saying you're in favor of keeping Kluber?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I think the Indians, absent an offer that blows them away, will keep Kluber. But his name is out there for a reason, because the Indians are looking to potentially move him. This is not an accidental thing. No. His name didn't get swiped up in reports by accident.
They're looking 2 years down the road what this team will look like at that point.
Sure.
When the other teams in the division might be contenders.
It's no secret the Indians are reshaping their roster while they're on top of the Central to try to create more payroll flexibility. And Kluber, they're dangling. And if they can get an offer that blows them away, I think they make the move.
Yeah, none of us like to see Kluber go. He's a popular player. He's a great pitcher. 2 Cy Youngs in the top 5, how many times? 4?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think
yeah.
4 times. Nobody, and a good guy. Nobody wants to see him go, but it's one of the only assets you have that can bring back legitimate players. Look at the outfield. Matt, who would you play in the outfield if the season started today?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, with Zimmer injured, we have no one in center, and Brantley's gone.
And Matt, I'm not saying that they can do without Kluber, all right? Not by any means am I saying that, but they could see themselves, if Kluber's gone, and say, all right, what does our rotation look like? Bauer,
Not bad.
Carrasco, Clevenger, Bieber, and Plutko. That's not a bad rotation. It isn't Kluber. Right. It doesn't have Kluber in it, but it's not bad.
It's still one of the
It's
top,
enough to win the Central.
Still one of the top 4 or 5 in the American League.
Right, and presumably then, if you move Kluber, you have enhanced your offense considerably because, as Les said, you're not moving him unless you get a minimum of 1 major league starter, maybe 2 in your position player lineup.
And by the way, the longer it goes with nothing happening, that means one of 2 things. Number 1, Cleveland's sticking to their plan and not just giving up to give up. Or number 2, the opposing teams who want to get in will know the Indians mean business.
And it's very possible that the suitors for Kluber are also the suitors for Machado or Harper, as Mike said.
Right. Matt, we got to go. Thank you so much for the call. Thank you for joining us on cleveland.com. I'll be on 92.3 The Fan tomorrow with Andy Baskin in for Jeff Phelps. That's tomorrow from 10 until 2. Then all next week I'll be in Monday through Friday in for Andy Baskin on that, along with Jeff Phelps. That's on 92.3 The Fan, 10 until 2. And football still on the docket. Joel Bitonio, fine offensive lineman for the Browns and a good one, had this to say about the season, looking ahead to the next season.
I think it looks bright. I think we have to work to it. I think it's not just going to be given now that, we have some expectations. But I think we have cornerstone pieces here. I think you see a couple draft classes where you have the number 1 overall pick, number 4 pick, and they're hit so far. You never know what's going to happen, but when you have a quarterback, everything else kind of gets a little bit easier. And you found that. Now we have to find the right coach. But I think it's going to be fun. I think we have a lot to look forward to. You have a week or 2 to reflect, then you get back into it, and you really try and improve yourself so you can help the team come fall next year.
Hey, Joel, you mentioned continuity before. How do you think guys would feel if this coaching staff remained intact and brought back?
Yeah, I think if Dorsey makes that decision, I think the guys here are going to ride with it. We're here to play the game, and whatever coach they put in front of us, we're gonna try and fight for them. We fought for Greg these last 8 games, and it's a credit to him. He did a heck of a job, coming in. That's a tough spot to be put into, and for him to come into that and do the things he did, it was pretty impressive. And we're gonna be ready to play for whoever they bring in here.
D-Man, we've been told could be as many as 20 candidates on this list, right? In addition, Greg Williams, Jim Caldwell was interviewed yesterday, I believe, Dan Campbell, Matt Eberflus, who was with the Browns several years ago, Brian Flores, Freddie Kitchens, Kevin Stefanski, Mike McCarthy, Nick Sirianno, in no particular order, and there's some other names to be added.
I know this is a little less significant, but when we get can we have somebody in the control room put up a still shot of Bitonio talking? I want to point something out. If you can find it. But,
all right. Well, we'll see if we can do that when we get back. All right, 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/moresports and Les Levine with new content posted each and every day. There you go with Facebook. We'll come back in a moment. Dennis Maniloff with us, cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer. More Sports and Les Levine continues in a moment exclusively on cleveland.com.
smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Why not help guarantee those you love $250,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct? Less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. Make the future more secure for those you love.
Call 1-800-723-9758.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
It takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling to bring the heat when things get chilly. Find us at 440-449-HEAT.
Check out this date in sports history, January 3rd, 1962. Work begins on the Houston Astrodome, the 8th wonder of the world. It opened in 1965. Were you ever in it?
I was never in the Astrodome, no.
Unbelievable. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. D-Man, you pointed out something on Joel Bitonio.
Yeah, it's a non sequitur. It had nothing to do with the coaching search or even Bitonio for that matter, but
there it is.
The hoodie.
Yeah.
That is the coolest hoodie I think I've ever seen. Just everything about it is so cool. My wife Denise tried to buy it for her son Garrett, and it was sold out over Christmas time.
Right.
But I think that's a fantastic job by the NFL or whoever created it.
Much better than some of the uniforms that the Browns are wearing.
And the other quick thing about what Bitonio said, these players are wired to accept whatever coach comes their way. We like to think that they get wed to a certain coach. No. They're not that way.
All right, D-Man, you have now reached the pinnacle of success on this show.
Uh-oh.
You've been included on a How Come Quickie.
I thought you were going to say comb your hair.
Although it doesn't tell me who wrote it in. Anyway, it says, how come we call fans of Barry Manilow Fanilows, but we don't call fans of the D-Man Faniloffs? We're going to have to do that.
I think I've ever heard my name melded with Barry Manilow.
Healthy and prosperous New Year, Les. Here's to the Dorseys, Tommy, Jimmy, and John, all very good conductors. When Ellie called last, she expressed concern that the Tribe hadn't signed a free agent. Do you think they're waiting to see what they receive in the Kluber trade and then sign a complimentary player in free agency? Sure. He also goes on to, this is Bob in Chagrin Falls, also goes on to say, Dwayne Haskins is a single-threat quarterback. I wonder what success he'll have in the NFL. He doesn't do well under pressure. Best of luck with the new venue. Bob from Chagrin Falls. All right, so we lead that in. Ellie, who is a frequent caller and a big baseball fan, says she doesn't have a computer, but she somehow found us. Hello, Ellie.
Hi.
How'd you find
us? Your hair looks pretty good through the phone.
Ellie.
Oh, you're watching on the phone.
Yes. Hi, D-Man.
Look how your excitement is reverberating in your voice tonight.
I know. This isn't quite the same as usual, but I'll settle for this. I figured it's better than nothing.
How does my hair look on a phone compared to a, 25-inch screen?
I don't know. It looks pretty awesome through the phone, but... And D-Man, you look pretty awesome, too.
All right. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Ellie.
Okay. What did you think of the Indians signing that Justin Grimm to that minor league contract? Do you think they might be, picking,
what do you know
guys
about
like that and invite them to...
D-Man's getting exasperated with the thought of it.
No, I love Ellie's depth because she knows the Indians as well as anybody. I mean, I've heard of Grimm, but I'm not well-versed in his metrics. They must have seen something that they liked. But, listen, I'm not saying I don't take anything seriously that the Indians do until and unless they move Kluber. But anything below that is kind of, accessory pieces. We have to see whether Kluber gets moved.
Now, if Kluber does get moved, I know everybody's worried about the bullpen and the outfield. I'm really, the catcher is sort of bothering me. I know, Perez is the main catcher now, but I'm not real thrilled with the backup. You think maybe they could
the catching
find a
situation.
catcher somewhere there?
They'll find somebody before spring training.
I mean, I was troubled that they moved Gomes. I said it at the time. But obviously it was a money move. Or they would claim, there was some money that they wanted to get rid of, but they have faith that Roberto Perez can be a 120-game catcher, and maybe Haas, absent of a veteran backup, can fill in the rest. I don't know. I've never seen Roberto Perez on a daily basis, other than a few weeks in the postseason, and it worked out well. But
automatic double play man.
But I'd like to see him hold up over a 6-month season. I mean, he hasn't had to do that yet.
Ellie, it's great to hear from you. And after all was said and done, and the concern about maybe missing the show, you only missed one yesterday.
Oh, good. Well, I'll try and keep up. It's just I have to take a chance on who's going to be on and when I call. But
all right,
I'm glad I caught the D-man and both of you. All
right, Ellie. Thanks so much.
It's real nice talking to you both.
Thank you. 216. She sounds like reborn.
Yeah.
216-578-0092 is no, that's not right. That's 92.3 The Fans. 575-0403. And my cell phone number is, never mind, I don't want to give that out at this point. We talk about Facebook all the time, and we ask a question of the day today on Facebook. See what you had to say. What are your expectations for the Browns next season? Well, let's take a look at what we've got. We've got a guy who can't find the list. That's what we have. Glenn Berger. They'll have a great chance to make the playoffs as they battle the Ravens to win the Central Division.
The AFC North.
Then we move on. Eric Eglin, 10-6 and a playoff berth. Tim Gebhardt, 11-5, 10-6 division champs. Scott says 10-6 AFC North divisional champs. Wild card home game. Just got to pray Dorsey gets the coaching and coordinator search right. It's going to be nice just to take the best player available at number 17 this year and just plug him in wherever you can this upcoming season. Agree totally on that.
And don't forget about the free agency, the money that the Browns have to spend in free agency. And I want to say something else, too. Speaking of Dorsey's genius, how about Brashad Perriman? I mean,
off the scrap, that is the scrap heap right there.
Yeah. I mean, this guy was going nowhere real fast. I mean, he was cut by the Redskins most recently. He comes in here. I'm not saying he set the world on fire.
Yes, he did.
But he sure looked good when he got his opportunities, and he didn't have the dropsies anywhere close. I don't think he had any drops.
No question
and that was his rep coming in. So all of a sudden, you think about free agency. Why can't Brashad Perriman count as like a free agent pickup?
And this will be the first time in maybe forever, that free agents will look at Cleveland and not laugh.
Exactly.
When they think about coming here.
Yes, sir.
This is a desirable place to come right now, depending on who the head coach is, but based on what is coming back for the Cleveland Browns, no question about that. Sokolowski's University Inn, you might have read about them, front page today in the Plain Dealer, talking about Tom Balog, who had been the piano player there for so many years. He passed away over the weekend, and Mike and Bernie Sokolowski and Marianne hosted the family this afternoon. Just a great tribute to a great man and a great entertainer. And Sokolowski's University Inn since 1923. Tom had been playing the piano there for 22 years, they tell me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Less packed all the entire holidays.
Oh, no, unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I always tell them it's crowded because either the service is slow or they really get a lot of people. And the answer is they get a lot of people. And incredibly, they move the line as well as it's unbelievable. One of the great institutions of Cleveland, no question about it, Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. We'll come back in a moment. We'll take a look at this date in Les Levine history exclusively on cleveland.com.
When my dad started Nature Stone, he created a solution for age-old concrete problems: unevenness, cracking, pitting, and more. Nature Stone solves all of these problems in garages, basements, and outdoor spaces. Nature Stone is beautiful, environmentally friendly, and affordable. Plus, Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Call or go to naturestone.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today and get up to 50% off.
Nature Stone, the only concrete solution.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
More sports and less Levine is now available on cleveland.com. To watch, type in cleveland.com/sports into your browser, then click on the More Sports and Less Levine icon, and the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason is available 24/7 from any computer. You can watch live from 6 to 7 Monday through Friday, or catch taped editions anytime on cleveland.com. All right, let's take a look at this date in Les Levine history. January 3rd, 1958, work begins on Chavez Levine. 4 years later, Chavez Ravine opens in Los Angeles. They stole the name. It's unbelievable. Let's take a look at this short week in history. In review, Les hears about the Namath contract, 3 years, $400,000. He wonders why he would be named after the street where the Bedford Auto Mile is located, Broadway Joe.
Wow.
I would think he'd named after Broadway in New York, but could be Broadway in Bedford. You never know. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Monday night, well, tomorrow night, you've got the Weekend Winners with Dave Bacon. That'll be from 6 to 7 Eastern time, I'm reminded to tell you. And Monday night, Hoynesy, Paul Hoynes, back from vacation. We'll talk Indians. Well, he talks anything. That'll be Monday night on More Sports and Les Levine, exclusively here on cleveland.com. Larry Drew, we mentioned earlier, now in the midst of a 7-game losing streak after last night. He's got 3 more in a row at home, see if they can break out of that streak. But he talked about what his team is facing.
I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it's, you know, it's the NBA. You know, I always say, you know, it's these type of situations that really test your character. You know, I know players that you know, I know it can be tough on the player. But I'll continue to keep these guys engaged and to make sure that they are, you know, that they are locked in their focus. Make sure that they you know, they continue to play hard. I thought we had too many. I thought we had too many possessions last night where we just didn't lay it on the line, and that was part of my message as well. After watching film, I can handle going through tough times, but I can handle them even better when I know that we really laid it on the line. Last night, I didn't think we did that, and I told the guys this morning that I didn't think we did that. So I'll just continue to every game. We'll take it the game at a time, and we'll keep striving until we get out of this little bit of a rut.
All right, well, here you go. In this 7-game losing streak, it doesn't get uglier than this. 112 to 97, 45 rebounds to 38, 25 assists to 20. Field goes 51 to 44. They got close in 3-pointers. This team has no 3-point threat, D-man. I mean, in the NBA game today, you got to have a 3-point shot.
That's why I wonder, Les, what is Colin Sexton's ceiling as an NBA player?
Well, he's got to learn how to shoot a 3.
Granted, it's very early. He's a young. You usually hear it's redundant when you say young rookie.
Right.
He's a young rookie.
But
okay?
he doesn't distribute the ball.
Is he an exceptional passer? No. Is he an exceptional shooter? No. He's a driver. Yeah. He can get to the rim. Okay. But I wonder, is he going to develop the shooting game that must be developed in order to be a legitimate threat?
Well, that, and teams can now afford to just set a zone against these guys because they can't beat the zone.
Yeah, the Cavs, when they see zone, it's complete and utter disarray.
What do you think the thought was that Tyronn Lue, who knew his game because he knew his father, that he would have turned this guy into an NBA player, or they just, he is young, he's 19, so you got to wait on that.
Well, no, I'm not trying to disparage Sexton. I think he's going to be a solid NBA player. I just wonder, is he going to be a star? Because I don't see a star quality in there other than tenacity, competitiveness, ability to finish at the rim. But he's not particularly big. He doesn't have a great shot. So I don't know.
I don't know.
But there's time. There's time for him to figure it out.
He's only 19 years old, no question. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. They've got it on Monday through Wednesday as well as Saturday evenings with a 6 p.m. post time. Free admission, free parking every day. That's at Northfield Park. Each week, the Ohio Lottery's Partner in Education program recognizes students who are responsible role models from across the state of Ohio. This week, we head to Wadsworth High School to meet Maria Busen. Maria excels both on the basketball court and in the classroom, as well as the Ohio Lottery as well. The Ohio Lottery now proud to salute Maria Busen, this week's shining star.
Wadsworth basketball means everything to Maria Busen. She was even a ball girl for the team when she was 5 years old.
Going to the games was like one of my favorite memories growing up. I thought that the high school players were like celebrities.
Busen became a star herself, playing on the varsity as a sophomore, but her junior season never happened.
So it was in a summer league game, and I planted on the end of the court trying to save a ball for one of my teammates, and I guess I twisted my knee the wrong way and I felt a pop.
Maria knew it right away. She had torn her ACL, and she didn't cry at first.
I couldn't accept the fact that I was going to miss my whole junior season for the longest time. And I remember when the doctor finally told me it was going to be a 9-month recovery, bawled my eyes out.
You never know how you're going to come back, especially from an ACL. Whether you're going to be 100%, 80%, 50%, you just don't know. So, but I will tell you this about Maria. She has worked her tail off to get back.
I wanted to get the surgery as soon as possible because I knew I wanted to start the rehab process as soon as I could. That's how I am. Like, I'm gonna go 100% into things and give it all that I have.
Once her doctor told her she could start running, Maria ran 5 miles the very next day. Now healthy, she's a senior leader who brings the energy.
I always call tearing my ACL the necessary evil in my life because, like, yeah, in the moment it was horrible, but I've learned so much from it, and I think that I'm twice the player now coming back from it.
Maria Busen gives motivational speeches to her teammates before every game, and now she's giving them to everyone.
Just the other day, actually, one of our ball girls, their parents kind of came up to me and wanted me to talk to their kid about what it takes to come back and to continue my career. And so now knowing that people are looking at me after that for motivation for themselves, it's really inspiring, and it inspires me to work harder every day.
Well, if you know a student who is deserving of recognition, visit OhioLottery.com. Go to the About section, then find the tab that is marked Supporting Education to nominate him or her as an academic all-star, and he or she could end up as one of our shining stars from the Ohio Lottery. Facebook.com, the place to find us. Facebook.com/More Sports and Less Levine with new content posted each and every day. Tomorrow night, Dave Bacon will have the weekend winners, and then Monday night I'll be back with Paul Hoynes. Tuesday night it'll be Bud Shaw. Don't know about Wednesday, but the D-Man is now a fixture on Thursday night.
Let me say this: Paul Hoynes, not only a local treasure, a national treasure. I mean, the guy he's still going strong. One of the a mentor of mine, coming through the ranks. One of the nicest people, but hardest workers I have ever been around. He's amazing.
When you see him on this show, that's who the guy is. Always smiling, always laughing, and he'll leave the show here, and I'll read something on cleveland.com an hour later. He's got, he must be taking notes in the car on the way. I don't know where he gets his stuff.
Yeah, his work ethic is nonstop. He's incredible.
Love that guy. Let's go to BP in Pepper Pike. Hi, BP.
Hey, Les, and hey, Dennis. How you guys doing?
Good. How about you? Just want to remind people I'll be on. Hold on one second.
BP, hold on, BP.
I'll be on 92.3 The Fan tomorrow, 10 to 2, and Monday through Friday of next week from 10 until 2 also. Okay, go ahead.
I've always wanted to do this with BP. Checking my blood pressure.
Need something, Dennis?
No, I wanted to check my blood pressure with BP. I don't know. It's dumb. Sorry about that.
It's also short for batting practice.
There we go.
Yeah, but I'll leave the jokes to Les.
Yeah.
I think he's a professional. We're all just amateurs. So, the Browns coaching search, it just keeps on going. Yesterday, while I was, talking to you guys, turns out the Browns interviewed Jim Caldwell, unbeknownst to anybody. So it's just
that name came out of nowhere. He, of course, coached the Colts and the Lions.
Yeah. So I like Les. It looks like you finally earlier in the show you mentioned that you would like your dream, let's say, scenario might be with Bruce Arians as the head coach, and you keep Freddie Kitchens and Greg Williams.
Yeah.
I like that scenario. My heart loves that scenario because I'm a Browns fan. I saw I saw 7-8-1. I saw Freddie and Greg go 5-3. I love continuity. We never have continuity here.
Right.
So to me, that's keeping continuity. You're also bringing
I
in,
really, there is a history with Arians and Kitchens. I sort of like that. I think it would be a fun group of guys, to be honest with you. The question is, could Greg Williams, who has his heart set on being the Browns head coach, can he handle being shot down a little bit back to defensive coordinator?
I think he could because Arians is 66 years old. He seems like an older type of guy, like an old soul. I mean, he's pretty laid back. I think he wouldn't mind deferring some of the power and even the
That's a great point I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would really work. The only problem is that Arians is 66 years old, but Bill Belichick's 66. Nobody's talking about Belichick leaving anytime soon.
Right.
So
BP, I still think it's a long shot with Arians, but I like the idea. I mean, it sounds intriguing, but I'm wondering, does Dorsey getting this opportunity, does he say, okay, I finally have a chance to put my imprint coach-wise. I'm going to have a guy who comes in and two inherited coaches remain?
Yeah, or
is that quite where he's going to go?
Or if it's Arians, does he want a guy here for 10 years? Well, if it's 10 years, it's not going to be Arians.
Well, I think if Arians comes in, and they would probably have some kind of agreement that Freddie Kitchens or Greg would be like the coach in waiting, sort of under Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
That Bruce would be here for 3 or 5.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility I'd like to at least explore.
I also,
and as long as that clock management position goes to the presumed candidate, me, I'm okay with any of it.
Yeah, I also think that my heart, as a Browns fan, pulls for Freddie Kitchens and Greg Williams to stay with Bruce Arians, and my brain says Mike McCarthy might also get a very serious consideration here.
I don't think there's any question.
I want to mention one last thing about the Cavs. I couldn't believe that Cavs game last night literally lasted 2 hours. I mean, an NBA game is supposed to last 2.5 hours. That game ended at like 9:08 p.m.
Oh, is that right?
And and it's just
that's a good thing to do. They should make the Cavs play games no longer than 2 hours, so you don't have to watch the whole, too much.
You got it.
All right, thanks, BP. Great.
In other words, nobody wanted to be there.
It's like giveaway, or what do you call it? The end of a road trip, getaway day. All right, that'll do it for us. D-Man, we will see you next Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be here. I'll be on radio tomorrow and all of next week, and I'll be here on Monday night. Dave Bacon tomorrow night, Monday night with Paul Hoynes. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.